Hello and welcome to Protect and Serve. This will be our first edition of a new program that we plan on bringing to you quite regularly as we move throughout the year. We're going to try to cover items and topics that are current and that are affecting the residents and citizens of the city of Sterling Heights. And with me today is Sergeant Mark Schmidt, who heads my training bureau. Today we're going to be covering several topics, including year in review, home safety, and some other items as we move along. I'd like to start off with the year in review. 2016 was a good year for the Sterling Heights Police Department. We again rank as one of the safest cities in America according to the FBI's crime statistics. We continue to build upon a reputation, tradition that we've had for better than 50 years now. In April of this year, I was sworn in as the new police chief. So it's been a big year for me. In addition to that, Sterling Heights Police Department has seen 22 retirements this year. It's the biggest challenge we have here at the police department. We have command and patrol officers retiring, and we are in the process of hiring. To date, we have hired 30 new officers, with 16 of those coming in 2016. Mark, part of your bureau is to bring these new officers into the Sterling way of doing things. Many of these officers come from other departments. Many have 2 years on and some as many as 15 years on with other departments. What is the process that the training bureau does to get them ready to hit the streets of Sterling Heights?
Well, Chief, the new officers are assigned to the training bureau for the first week for in-house training. During that week of training, we bring them up to speed on firearms tactics that we do at Sterling Heights here, CPR training, taser training, pepper spray, self-defense. We get them assigned their equipment, their lockers, all the paperwork with City Hall. So it's a busy week, and it encompasses everything that we need to get them ready so when they go on to the FTO program, they don't have to worry about any of the administrative duties that need to be done. They're all done, and then they can concentrate on being successful in the FTO program. Sterling
Heights is known as a destination police department. We have officers coming from all around the country. Off the top of your head, can you think of some agencies that maybe some of our officers have come from?
We just had an officer recently come down from Charlevoix. We had one from Mackinac Island. That was just in the last group. Also, we have a new officer that was out in California for several years. I think he was with San Diego Sheriff Department. He was out there for several years, relocated back to Michigan and worked downriver for several years before joining us. So that shows you that officers around the country still want to be in Sterling Heights. So we do attract officers from all over the country, and we try to find the best officers we can find.
In addition to good solid pay and benefits, are you finding that these officers like to come to Sterling Heights because of the environment that they police?
Yeah, they really do, Chief. A lot of them come from departments that don't have the equipment that we can offer them. We have nice newer vehicles in the fleet that are well maintained by the DPW. We have a lot of new technology as far as e-tickets and e-crash inside the vehicle that the officer can do the accident reports as well as their tickets inside the vehicle via computer. Like I said, we have the new vehicles. We have new tasers. So we have a lot of equipment that the smaller departments can't offer, and it's all maintained relatively well, and it's a lot of newer equipment. So the officers do like coming to Sterling Heights and having a lot of those options.
In addition to the newer equipment and the high quality training that they get, I got to believe that they like coming to Sterling Heights because of the community that we police. So we have a great deal of support from our citizens, and each and every day we're made aware of that the support that they provide to us is very overwhelming.
You know, a lot of officers came from departments or communities that didn't have the support of the members of the community. Here they notice, they drive around and they say, wow, this is great. The people act like they're happy to have us here. And we have to remind them they are happy we're here because we provide good services and we have a great relationship with the community. So they do enjoy that as well.
Very good. In addition to the hiring and promoting process that we're undertaking as we speak, this year, 2016, marks the 50th anniversary of the Sterling Heights Police Department. In 1966, the Sterling Heights Police Department was formed when we were still Sterling Township. In 1966, Maurice Foltz was the first chief of police. And early on in that year, in May of 1966, 13 officers were sworn in. The first police station was at the corner of Plumbrook Road and Van Dyke, where they shared headquarters with the fire department. Shortly thereafter, a couple years after forming, they moved to what was a golf course clubhouse on Utica Road, which is now the site of our nature center. Mark, your dad is a longtime policeman for the city of Sterling Heights. He retired, probably 1995, if I remember right.
Yeah, November of '95.
So you bring with you a tradition of policing with the city of Sterling Heights. And as a matter of fact, as we move into next year, into 2017, there's going to be a number of retirements, and we're losing a lot of command next year. Would you be part of that list?
Yes, I would be, Chief. I'll be leaving in June of 2017.
And you will be hard to replace, as are many of our command and patrol officers. Your position, in particular, in a training bureau, is a highly specialized position. You oversee training, you oversee the CERT program, you oversee all the equipment of the police department. The list of responsibilities you have is endless, and we will be sorry to see you go. We will try to get somebody trained up before you go, hopefully, and we can make that work. So thank you for your service here.
You're welcome, Chief.
We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about home safety.
We all have the ability to touch the lives of those around us. Sometimes, even the smallest act has the power to change a life. Reach out to the veterans in your life today. Let them know they're not alone. Hello.
Hi, Dad.
That's the power of one. One simple act can make all the difference.
Welcome back, and before we move on to our next subject, I'd like to continue with a year in review of 2016. As I stated before, the city of Sterling Heights is still listed as one of the safest cities with a population of over 100,000 in America. And part of that is due to the great relationship we have with our community, but a great part of it is also because of the professional, proactive policing that we do in Sterling Heights. This year there was a couple of high visible incidents that occurred. We had an armed robbery at one of our local jewelry stores, which we had some great video footage of our officers doing what they do best, and that's catching bad guys. We had another video of one of our officers, Officer Randy Shippey, saving the life of a gentleman who suffered a severe cardiac issue while in a vehicle. And there's another incident that we had great video of an officer being the first to arrive at the scene of a house fire. These are just a few examples of the great work we do in Sterling Heights, and each and every day we do things, but occasionally they're captured in video footage that we like to share with our citizens. So I just wanted to touch base on that and ensure the people of Sterling Heights that our officers are out there proactive, professional, and acting always in a courteous manner. And that's how we do things in Sterling Heights. Mark, we're going to move on into some home safety. We're approaching a time of year where a lot of people will be going away for extended periods of time. What can people do to make their house more secure, to keep it from being a target of a burglar?
Well, Chief, this time of year we have a lot of residents who go to Florida, snowbirds, and they go away for the winter for an extended period of time. There's a couple of things that they should be doing. Hopefully they're doing this year round. One of them is, make sure you have a good quality lock on your door. Okay, I know that sounds funny to say, but a lot of people go to the store to look for a new door handle and they try to find the cheapest door handle out there. Well, you'd want to look for a door handle that's of better quality, which makes it harder for someone to breach that door and gain entry into your house. Okay, that's the first thing that I would recommend as far as that goes. Make sure you have a good quality door lock and make sure all your windows are locked. You wouldn't believe how many times we go to a home invasion call and the person admits that they left their bedroom window unlocked. Well, that makes it real easy for somebody to slide open that bedroom window and gain access to your house, okay? So that's a couple things. Obviously it sounds basic, but people forget to lock their windows. Keep your windows locked, put a good quality lock on the front door as well as the back door. Another thing that I'd recommend, obviously this time of year, if you're gonna be gone for an extended period of time, is call the post office and request a stop of the mail, okay? If you don't wanna call the post office, have your next door neighbor or somebody in the neighborhood pick up your mail on a daily basis, okay? That's the last thing you wanna do is have a week or two worth of mail stuck in the mailbox, okay? That's a dead giveaway that nobody's home. Also, same thing with the newspaper. Have the newspaper canceled or stopped. And if you don't want to call them because you're afraid they will know that you're out of town, same thing. Have that same neighbor grab that newspaper every day. Okay. Also, have them check that front porch for any hand flyers or hand bills that have been put on the front door handle. Okay. You don't want to go by and find 30 flyers or handbills laying on the front porch. Okay. Again, that's another dead giveaway that nobody's home. This time of year, we have to deal with the snow. Have a company or your neighbor clear off your snow every time we get some snow. If it's not enough to really worry about clearing off, just ask the neighbor if he can pull his car into your driveway. Put some snow tracks in the snow, maybe some footprints up to the door so it looks like somebody's been in and out of the house, okay? Those are things that if, people are driving through your neighborhood looking to do a home invasion, they see tracks in the snow, that tells them that this house is occupied and people are coming and going. It makes you less likely to be a target, okay? Then you revert back to the old that, yes, it would be a great idea to put a light on a timer. It gets dark about 5 o'clock at night. Have that timer come on at 5:30 and stay on till 11 o'clock at night. I'm not necessarily saying you have to have every light in the house put on, but it'd be nice to have a couple lights put on. Maybe put a radio on a timer with a talk show. So if somebody's outside the window, they hear voices in the house. Okay, if you're outside of that home and you're listening in and it's a talk radio show, it's really hard to distinguish if it's a radio show or if it's somebody actually talking. So that's always another good bit of advice I would offer. Also, it's important, have a family member or neighbor come check the house. Maybe every couple days, every week at the minimum. What happens if your sump pump backs up? And we just have a thaw like we had yesterday. If that sump pump fails and nobody checks it, your basement could be filled up with water when you come back 3 months later. So nothing wrong with if you have a close friend or family member that can come check the house. That's always a good idea as well.
Mark, that's some great advice. It sounds like you want to make the house look like it's lived in, that nobody's ever going away. What about alarm systems? A lot of people call and say, is an alarm system a good thing to get? What do you think about alarm systems? Alarm
systems aren't a bad thing, okay? I think they are helpful, but it's not going to be, guaranteed that you're not going to be broken into. People have to remember if you are monitored by an alarm company, the alarm goes off. Generally, the policy is the alarm company tries to call the homeowner first to find out if something happened, if they tripped the alarm by accident. So by the time they call that homeowner, if the homeowner answers the phone and says, well, no, I'm in Florida, then the alarm company has to call the police department. Then the police department has to dispatch the vehicle and it's going to drive to your home. So a lot of times you're talking it's a 8, 10, 12-minute delay from the time that alarm goes off until we arrive on the scene. And it's not a reflection of our response time. It's on the response time of the alarm company by the time they go through their protocol. Obviously, it's not a bad idea to have, especially if you put the siren outside and it's loud. Maybe it'll alert your neighbors. Maybe it will just scare off the thief because he hears the alarm go off and he may run out of the house before making entrance. But there's a lot of times that, burglars and thieves know that there's a delay of time by the time the alarm goes off until the police arrive. So a lot of time that's not a total deterrent, but not a bad idea to have an alarm system as well.
Okay, so it sounds like the alarm, having an alarm within your house is another tool.
It's another tool.
In your toolbox. It sounds to me like the best thing you can do is to make your house the hardest one in the neighborhood to break in. And through our community watch programs and that kind of thing, which you also oversee, we try to make each neighborhood the hardest neighborhood by spreading this information to people about what they can do to make their house impenetrable as much as possible. Sure. No alarm system, no deadbolt, nothing that you can do makes it perfect. But the more you do, the lighting up of the house, all the information you gave here is going to make them go to a different house.
Correct. Outside lighting, let's want to touch on that real quick. Obviously, motion detectors are awesome outside. If somebody's walking around the back of your house and it's on a motion detector, the light's going to go on. That might be enough to deter them and make them move on, or it may grab the attention of your neighbor and say, hey, why is there light on the side of the house? And it may make that would-be burglar leave the area as well. So outside motion detectors. And really the biggest thing I think helps is being a good neighbor, knowing your neighbors and looking out for each other, okay? You had mentioned how Sterling Heights is always rated one of the safest in the country, okay? The big reason for that is, like we touched on earlier, is we have a great relationship with the residents of the city, okay? We're only half as good as what gets reported to us. So if people want to get involved and call us on the front end, it makes our job easier and keeps the crime low. So if you're a good neighbor and you see something that doesn't look quite right, give us a call. That's what we're here for as the police department. You call us, hey, this doesn't look right. My neighbor's on vacation and I noticed the side garage door is open on his house. don't wait till tomorrow or the next day after you see it for 2 or 3 days. Call us right away. We'd rather have it come out and find it just blown open from the wind or it's no big deal versus, hey, somebody broke into this house 3 days ago. Right. So if you see something out there, don't be afraid to call us. That's what we're here for.
You're absolutely right. We are very blessed in Sterling Heights to have the great relationship we have with our community. And because of that, they're not afraid to call us. And they are our eyes and ears, and they call us. They solve 90% of the issues we have before they become serious issues. They'll call us on suspicious persons, suspicious vehicles, and suspicious incidents all the time. Because they know in Sterling Heights, when you dial 911, we're going to be there within minutes. And they have that faith, trust, and confidence in us to respond to these things accordingly. So thank you very much for those tips, Mark. And hopefully people will take them to heart and do what you can to make your house the toughest one on your block to get broken into. We are forming, as we move into the early part of 2017, a new program called the CORE program, which is the Community Outreach and Engagement Program. We're going to have officers assigned to specific areas of the city where people know their CORE officer and they can call them for information, advice, any problems they're having in their neighborhood. These officers will also be responsible for helping them form neighborhood watch groups and different community involvement organizations. So we're looking forward to that program getting off the ground and moving forward.
It's a great idea.
So it is a fantastic idea, and we're trying to make a large city of Sterling Heights into several small cities, give it that you have your own personal police officer you can call at any time. So we're looking forward to that. This year, as we move off of this subject, we're going to talk about cops and kids. And this year marked the 18th anniversary, the 18th annual Cops and Kids, where the Sterling Heights Police Lodge, FOP Lodge 118, takes children shopping. And we give them $120 per child to go shopping. It's all tax-free because they work under our 501c3 organizational nonprofit status. And this year was the 18th annual, as I said, and we were at the Target store at 16 Mile and DeQuinder. And this is the 18th time that Sergeant Randy DePriest has run this program. And I can't say enough good things about Randy and the dedication that he has put into this program. This year we had almost 50 kids, once again, that officers took shopping. Mayor Taylor was out there as well this year for the several times over the last few years he's been out with us. But we take these children out and they buy toys and they buy clothes and they buy not just for themselves, but they'll buy for their parents, they'll buy for their siblings. And it's a great opportunity for the Sterling Heights Police Department to have a one-on-one engagement with citizens of our community, especially children and their families. In over 18 years, we estimate that we've done close to 1,000 children. And if you think about the number of children that we have been able to engage and their families, try to put a price tag on that positive relationship we have with those children and their families. So again, my thanks to Sergeant Randy DePriest, who is also one of the people that will be retiring this spring as we move forward into 2017. So, but he has promised to continue staying on in that capacity with the FOP Lodge, at least for a few more years. And again, it's a great program, and we look forward to continuing it as far as we can into the future. So that'll be it for this first edition of Protect and Serve. As we move forward, any questions you may have, you can direct to me at 586-446-2811. And you can give me suggestions maybe on what we can bring forward in the next episodes as we move forward. But I look with great promise as we move forward, different subjects, how to keep the community safe, different issues that are going on within the community, within the police department, and very excited about this. So from Protect and Serve, you keep your family safe, and we'll help you keep the entire community safe. Thank you.